Oh, yes. Welcome and welcome back. Welcome back after a long time, as a matter of fact. But welcome back to you bleeping nerds. You being. How y'all been, man? It's been a long time. It's been a real long time. What is it? June? I ain't seen y'all since January. Man, that's a crazy hiatus. But we back in full effect over here at UBN. You know what I'm saying? Your one-stop shop for nerdness. You know what I'm saying? That nerd swag. You know what I mean? Nah, we just some dorks over here. No, for real, though. We just watch a bunch of cartoons and talk about them. But it's been a long time. I miss y'all, man. Y'all good? You know what I mean? Y'all eating? You know, I'm hope y'all good. Y'all pockets is good. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody good, you know? We good over here. Real life gets in the way. So, we take breaks longer than we like to here on this program. But like I say every time, the lie I tell every time is that, we'll be back every day from now on. So, no more hiatuses. We're done. We're done over here at UBN. You got us every day. Like we used to say, we do a podcast every day. Well, except for the weekends. But, we do a podcast every weekday. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, where we cover one program every day that's hot in these animation, anime, comic, sci-fi, streets, you know what I'm saying? Medieval lore. Shout out to House of the Dragon. We checked that out last night. We're not gonna pod about House of the Dragon because the last thing anybody needs is another House of the Dragon podcast. But you know what? Great show. Me and my lady are loving it. I'm the master of the ceremonies here. I'm the captain in his boat. I'm the skipper. It's your boy A. It's good to be back, y'all. It's good to be back. We're here to talk to y'all about, to me, the hottest show in the world, hands down. I don't care whether it's animated or American. It's the hottest show in the world right now. And that's a little program we call Kaiju number 8. It's my jam. This show is my jam. Everything about it, I love every single. Well, not every single thing about it. We're gonna get to that, but like this show, it's why we do this over here at UBN, man. You know what I mean? Like we this is why we do this here at UBN, because when hot shit like this pops out, we got to talk about it, man, because y'all want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let you guys know that tomorrow I'm going to put out probably another episode kind of outlining what our weekly schedule is going to be. I have it mostly worked out, but it's not official yet. A couple of programs that are real hot that I want to catch up on and get with y'all about. So until then, Mondays it's going to be Kaiju number 8 Mondays. I don't think anybody have any issue with that. I don't think the season has too many episodes left. Here on June 24th, where episode 11 is the latest episode. So I'd have to check that, how many episodes are left. But until the end of the season, we're here because to me, this is the best show out right now. So just jumping into it, man. I always love, especially in a medium like anime, which I consider anime a fearless medium. I always love when you get a fresh, modern, updated version of a classic concept. The kaiju is not anything new. If you know anything about anything in mass media, particularly with Japan and giant monsters, this is kind of their bag. This they jam. Okay, this is how they get down. This is just what they do. Okay, they do it better than anybody else, and they do it more than anybody else. They are the best. Obviously, another one of their kaiju homies just got his own, movie, just came out a little while ago, various Godzillas. So many guys, they pumping out like 3 Godzillas a year. You know what I mean? Like Japan has like 1 or 2 Godzillas, and America gets a Godzilla. Like, they pumping that big ass lizard out, and he's box office. So that's why they pumping his ass out. But oh yeah, they've been doing that since I believe the 50s. My resident kaiju expert, who just messaged me just now in this moment, my resident kaiju expert Lazarus, we'll be on to talk about this probably at the end of the series. I want to do a rundown of all the different monsters and where they've kind of just been inspired and shown, and just some of the creative designs you've seen of some of the creatures in the show. It's such a fresh, cool show about something that we've made a million shows about, about giant monsters attacking Japan in the world, but I think what makes Kaiju number 8 different is that it's a much more modern rendition on it. It is, we've been fighting giant monsters for 60 years. We're good at it. We've developed technology to do so. We've developed government agencies and enforcement forces in order to do so. You know what I mean? So it's not just a monster pops out and what do we do? It's like, nah, we've been being attacked by monsters since the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes in Godzilla suits have been, kicking down like model buildings and studios for a very long time now. We know how to deal with these monsters. And that's my favorite thing about the show is that it's a world we live in, and humanity's at war with the kaiju. And they've built up an army, an entire defense force, the JAKDF, in order to fight the kaiju. And I love that about it, right? It's a very engaging show, the camaraderie of it. I love everything about it. But let me slow down. Let me start at the beginning. Obviously, we're going to start with our main character, Hibino Kafka. The OG, as we will call it over on this side of the water, you know what I'm saying? The OG of the group, the main character of the group. I'm be honest, I was pulled into his character because I too am an old motherfucker. I just full disclosure, like I'm as a 31-year-old man myself currently here on June 24, 2024. I'm dealing with some of my own insecurities and aging, so I see my homie and I see myself. You know what I'm saying? Like the fat tummy is like, yeah, I see it. Like I see it. And you know what? We got plenty to offer. I can't run several miles anymore. I haven't kept that up. Aaron, you never would ever to do that. Shut up. Listen, I can't run them anymore. That's I never could, but I can't anymore too. Okay. But no, man, starting with him, I think the charm of the show is in the way that he grounds it. The main character's limitation. He was working for the disposal force, which is, if you guys, just haven't actually watched the show and just want to check out the podcast. First off, I love you guys. Keep doing that. Keep doing all that. But no, with the disposal force is basically after the defense force blows them the fuck, all the kaiju. There's kaiju left everywhere, and it's a job. It's these people's job to go around, kind of like the body disposal. People's job to go around and clean up the kaiju dead body scene. So you have whole city blocks covered in kaiju guts and gore and bile and viscera. You know what I'm saying? Giant like crab dragon monster viscera all over your Kia Sorrento. You know what I mean? Like that. It's somebody's job to clean that up. And I don't envy those people. I hope it pays well. I do. I hope that shit pays well. Because it has to stink. Like, I've been around like some dead animals before in my life. You know what I mean? Like, man, I can't imagine what it's like when like an apartment complex size fish is just like rotting on the top of your car. Like that's but that's what the main character's job is when we meet him. And his little homie, his partner, a fun character, Ishikawa. Ishikawa is so what's the word? Come on, you're a professional communicator, Aaron. Use your words. He is a prospect. There you go. He is a prospect for the Defense Force. He chose this job in the disposal crew in order to increase his knowledge about kaiju, and he expected to help him on the exam that's coming up for Ishikawa. And this is where they meet, obviously, and they form a bond. I'm relating way too much to the main character because you're working at a job for a long time, and you're humans. You start to have conversations with people, and then people who are just so much younger than you, 10, 11 years younger than you. You end up with like that big brother, bond. It's like you're friends, but I'm older than you, so there's still like that hierarchy there, that where it's just like, nah, we're not exactly peers, especially if you're in like management and things like that. There's a whole nother dynamic there. But it's just another example of, the heart of the show, that Kafka just seems to befriend everyone he meets, from his childhood, love / friend, who's also the captain of the 3rd Division, Hina, Captain Ashiro. She, everyone seems to love Kafka. He's such a grounding force in the show. And I really, really enjoy, all his interactions with all the characters. But before we even get into the story, I have to talk about the openings and the endings to the show, because to me, like, your music is everything. Kaiju number 8 is fucking electric. Okay, their opening is, I want to sing it now. I'm too scared they'll take my shit down because of copyrights. Plus, I can't sing. But like, man. Like, this show, just from the opening riffs of the guitar of the opening, the visuals with the the blades cutting in the thing, and the blood visuals, and the DNA and the cells and all of that stuff, it's just right away you are transported, you are grabbed, you are captive to your screen. And then they just jam out from there, man. And it's a great way to start the ride. I'm not surprised that the show is as popular as it is. It's, by any metric, a top 3 anime in the world. The manga has over 14 million copies in circulation right now. The manga went into circulation first in 2020 by, it's written in, illustrated by Noya Matsumoto. The anime, went up this June, just April, a few months ago. It's only June now. So just about 2 months ago, a little over 2 months ago. So as an anime, it's just hitting the scene. Obviously, this is an anime only show. This is an animated visual medium show only. Not to knock my manga readers, but we ain't all got that time. Some of us got kids. Some of us got 2 jobs. Some of us got 3 jobs. You know what I mean? So we don't always have time to always read the source material. That's why we appreciate anime so much, because it makes things bite-sized for us. But no, getting back to the show, I'm not going to spend too much time on the story. I'm going to imagine that you've seen most of, if not all, the story. Otherwise, why the hell would you listen to this podcast? But we're just going to jump right back into episode 11, to where we are currently in the show. And shit crazy, yo. Shit's crazy. Like, we saw last episode 10, Kafka revealed himself as Kaiju number 8 to Division 3 and the world. And he had to, the attack on the Tsuchikawa base, the Takikawa base, by the Kaiju force. I call him the Red Kaiju. He's Kaiju number 10. I think they officially named him now. And his army of wyverns, completely ransacking the base. It's totally destroyed, essentially non-functional. And I found that entire event interesting because it made me ask myself, like, what is the governing body behind the Kaiju in this show? Obviously, we've seen between Kaiju number 9 and Kaiju number 10 that there are sentient Kaiju. They even speak language. They learn the language. Kaiju number 9 is a shapeshifter. He has the ability to, take people's bodies and assume them, as well as their identities in general. And, there's so many wonderful questions, I think, that stories has made us ask now. Along with the beautiful action and the beautiful music and all of the visual and audio, candy, that's what it is. It's just candy to the show. The story is very, very compelling. It's very strong to where there's a parallel mystery narrative, a parallel mystery thread that's going through the show the entire time where why the hell is he a kaiju? Obviously the mysterious flying kaiju inserted itself upon him. Let's just call it that. Inserted himself upon him, our main character. Obviously, which led to him immediately turning into kaiju number 8. But the question is, A, why did that happen? B, why are all these sentient kaiju are popping up? Apparently, this is a new phenomenon, according to Captain Hoshino. Who's amazing, by the way. That dude's a fucking badass. That dude's a fucking badass. Love that guy. But according to Captain Hoshino, when we see him interact with 9 and 10, it's something that is not supposed to be the case. They're not supposed to have intelligence at all. They're not supposed to have sentience, awareness. He talked about fighting with Kaiju number 10, and he was more made uncomfortable by the fact that 10 was enjoying the fight. That was the part that was kind of creeping him out, is that it's not enjoyment, looking forward to things. It's not something that kaiju are supposed to be able to do, at least according to their, most updated knowledge at the time. So having that mystery, why, right? The attack on Tachikawa base seemed like, the kaiju were sent out to destroy this base, as if, we're at war with the kaiju. And the question is, why? Well, maybe not why, but who? Where are they? Who's really calling the shots here? For the kaiju, And does kaiju number 9 know? It seems like kaiju number 10 was directly sent by whatever force that is. But does kaiju number 9 know? Kaiju number 9 seems like a more independent entity. It seems like he's has his own agenda and not necessarily affiliated with other kaiju or anything like that. It doesn't seem like he's a part of the kaiju cabal. But we don't know. At least as anime watchers, we don't know yet. I'm very much looking forward to it, though. I want to get into some favorites before I get out of here. Yeah, because I was late to this Kaiju number 8 party, but baby, past that Voodoo Ranger, I'm here now. I'm here now, baby. We coming in every Monday, and this is going to be our show until the end of the season, because this is definitely our jam. But I wanted to get into some of my favorites of the show before I got out of here. So, favorite character. Now, I got some honorable mentions here. Okay. So, honorable mention number 1 is Hibino Kafka. Listen, I love the old nigga, man. I just do. As a fellow old nigga who is also not athletic anymore, Like I love Kafka. Like Kafka, he's the heart of the show. He's the heart of Division 3. He's Hina's heart. She still obviously holds affection for him, and there's still some sort of bond there. She has a job to do and an image to keep up as the leader of Division 3, but she still obviously is rooting for him, believes in him as a human, even though he is a kaiju, or they believe him to be a kaiju. So gotta love Kafka, man. He's hilarious. He's smart. I love a support character. Support characters are always my favorites. And when he's not transformed as Kaiju number 2, like his ability to disperse the knowledge of the weaknesses of the kaiju and really leverage his expertise against of the kaiju for the sake of Division 3, I think it's just really, really cool. It's really, really important, and it's kind of undervalued. And when it comes to younger people, the ability to support others is almost as valuable, if not more valuable, than being the one out there executing. So you gotta love the support characters. You gotta love the support roles. You gotta love Kafka. Our pro tag. He's definitely on our honorable mention. Not my favorite, but you gotta put him in honorable mention. Last honorable mention is oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name, but the director general, his daughter, yellow hair, got the big beam axe. She probably know her name. I'm a professional, whatever. Anyway, she's my second favorite. We're only 11 episodes in as of today, but I'm very interested to see her motivations, and why she does what she does. And she's obviously a child prodigy. She is the child of a prodigy. Her father, who is the director general of the Defense Force and is considered the strongest soldier to ever live. He obviously, his daughter takes a lot after him. She has unbelievable aptitude, unbelievable ability. But as a man with a child, I'm curious to see, what it took, what kind of relationship that they have, and what kind of motivation she have. Obviously you're given some insight into that when she talks about, was I perfect, Papa? And there's some signs indicating that there's toxicity in their relationship. There's some toxicity in her upbringing that is driving her and is motivating her. And I'm just interested to see how all that plays out, how all that's laid out for us. Considering she's so powerful, I want to see, what's really going to make that character tick, and then how she's going to change. I think that's outside of the kaiju. I think the relationship with her father seems like something she's going to have to overcome. She's going to have to clarify and deal with. And I'm interested to see how she changes from there. So she's great. I think her name is like Nishinoya. I think her name is. I don't know. That's probably the dude from Kaiju. I don't know. Haikyuu, excuse me. I don't know. But yeah, no, she's the second honorable mention. Love Kafka, love her. But my favorite character is Vice Captain Hoshino. There's no question. Like, there's no. Like, Hoshino, like, first off, when he's not fighting, he's hilarious. Like, he's just like so light. He's such a jackass. Like, he's such a jackass. Like, when he's watching Kafka just fucking fall all over his damn self, he's just like cracking up in the operations room. Like, I love characters like that, especially when we're dealing with subject matter like, death and mass destruction and giant monsters and people getting fucking eaten. Character like him, is always fun. It kind of it doesn't make you, it keeps you from getting too down. It keeps him from getting too down with guys like him. And then when you learn his backstory, and he's told that because he specializes in a blade, that his usefulness against kaiju will always be limited. And kaiju are getting, we see in his flashback, the kaiju are getting bigger and bigger every year, and that means he'll be less and less useful. And it's always inspiring to see, someone who has reached the heights he has, vice captain of an entire division, for him to become what he has, which is a fucking badass. Like, his fighting style is so fucking sweet. The sword, the way they animated, his speed and the motions of the sword and the slicing, the slicing is so clean and devastating. His proficiency and efficiency, and just, it's a lot of, hey, gorgeous. My beautiful love just walked in while we were recording. I don't think she likes Kaiju number 2. I mean, not number 8, but she doesn't know what it is, so she doesn't like it, because she doesn't know what it is. Well, you don't like it because you don't know what it is. I don't know if I like you don't dislike it. I didn't dislike it. I just said you. So that's my baby. But yeah, no, going back into Hoshino, like, he's just so badass. Like, even when he's fighting Kaiju number 10 and he, became enormous, like 100 feet tall, like, you always love a character who has no fucking shot to show the kind of heart he did. Like, that dude could have been squashed at any fucking moment, especially after, his suit overheated, especially after he lost his max release. He's the entire reason why, she was able to get the shot on the core, on the kaiju, because, he had to distract it and maneuver it and make him chase him until, she was able to get it. Like, that entire episode, that entire couple of episodes, the attack on the raid on Tachikawa base, like, Hoshino was unfucking believable. Like, he's my favorite character so far. 11 episodes in, he's my favorite character so far. Like, he has everything you want. Like, he's funny, he's got heart, he's got all the fucking heart in the world. He's a great soldier, he's a great officer. He's badass to watch. Like, yeah, no, Hoshino's number 1 in my book. He's definitely number 1 in my book. And this show is number 1 in my heart. I had to come back to the microphone for you people to talk about this jam, man, because I've noticed there's so much anime out right now. I think on average every season we get official releases of probably about 30 to 40 different independent series every season. And we're not even talking about, season 2 and 3 of reoccurring seasons. There's a lot of bullshit out there, y'all. I don't have to tell y'all that. Y'all, the ones sifting through all that nonsense. And good for y'all. Y'all make my job easier. So good for y'all. But there's a lot of bullshit out there, that time I was reincarnated as a microwave to fight the burrito lord bullshit every fucking season. That shit's coming out every season, So I find it really refreshing when something like Kaiju number 8 really hits that nerve, strikes that mainstream nerve, because to me, shows like this is why we do any of this shit. Great art, great story, beautiful music. Like, the opening, I told you, that shit is electric. When I listen to the opening to Kaiju number 8, like, that shit, my heart's racing and shit. Like, it's racing right now. I want to put it on. Like, if I wasn't sure this shit would get taken down for copyright, if I wasn't 94.8% positive this would go down because of copyright, I don't even want to hum that shit. But if I wasn't even positive that it would come down, I start singing this shit. I love the damn music. I love the theme music every time Kaiju number 8 does anything. Like, just does anything. That fucking dude go, oh, like, it's just like, oh, like the 9-year-old in me takes the fuck off, man. Like, I'm levitating 3 feet above the ground every time he does anything. But yeah, no, Kaiju number 8, to me, my number 1 anime. And you guys, my number 1 fans, my number 1 bleeping bleeps, thanks for coming back with me, guys. I'm back in full effect. We are here. Check us out tomorrow. I don't know what we pre-grilling tomorrow. But it's gonna be something. We're gonna give you guys the weekly rundown for the summer season starting tomorrow. And we'll probably, I don't know, maybe we'll do that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Who knows what we will be covering, catching up on. But I'm just happy to have y'all here with me. So like I said, I am the skipper. I'm the captain of this boat. This is you bleeping nerds. You be in. It's your boy A. Y'all take it easy. Peace.